My guess in regards to a new currency is that the United States is still going to be the top dog.
How do we and then after that, because we don't want to run out of time, we want to talk about the self-financing too. But
yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to talking about that.
Okay.
Sorry, are we going to
so
break?
U.S. is top dog. We like that too.
Oh, we've got plenty of time. We've got 10 minutes to chat.
Oh, no problem. The United States, I don't know, and I'm going to speculate. And so this is not, don't take this as advice. This is me speculating. But I have about an 85% accuracy rate when I do speculate. So maybe this might be something that breaks the curve if I'm wrong. But I do think that the United States dollar, or whatever the United States has in regards to a new currency, I do think that they're going to be the top dog. The United States has 25% of the world's GDP. That's huge. That is humongous. And there's something else that the United States has that people don't really recognize around the world. But they are the police dogs of the world. And their military, their Army, their Navy, their Air Force, Marines, they are second to none.
We are
known for that. And those are two commodities.
Mm-hmm.
Those are two commodities that could get them to go into any place whatsoever here and there to enforce certain things. Like you'll see that in the Middle East, people are starting to use the euro instead of the dollar. There are organizations all around the world, countries all around the world that are just getting away from the U.S. dollar. They see the nails in the coffin. They know what's going on. I couldn't believe when Canada, we're talking about America's best buddy here, Canada. Canada just started signing a swap deal with China where they bypass the U.S. dollar. Everyone is bypassing the U.S. dollar. Everyone knows about the BRICS alliance. That's Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. All these countries have gotten together, and they are bypassing the U.S. dollar.
Why are they doing that?
Because they see what's going on with the United States getting into more debt, and if they're the reserve currency and they are flooding their currencies out into the world, China's the one that's buying all the bonds. Japan's the one that's buying all the bonds. All these other countries are buying bonds. That's why the United States hasn't seen all this inflation coming back. But one day in the future, those people who bought those bonds, those countries who bought those bonds, they're going to come back to the United States, and they're going to bring those U.S. dollars back with them. And that's when you could possibly see like a serious inflation issue. And that would be nice to have all of a sudden, precious metals and silver and gold. Or something, real value, so in case your dollar starts losing value rapidly.
And
like I said,
we've been getting a bad... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
You need to protect yourself from both inflation and deflation. And because I also do believe that there's deflation coming too. We have Janet Yellen that just turned off the quantitative easing pipe. And I don't believe, and this is not me speaking this only, even though I've been doing this now forever, for a decade now, but this is now the former chairman of the Federal Reserve, Alan Greenspan, saying this.
Yes.
And he's saying that he doesn't see how the United States can unwind all that printing of money without causing disasters.
Without causing disasters, I know. And
I'm paraphrasing it because he didn't say it that way, but I'm paraphrasing it.
Of the Federal Reserve. Yeah. So what advice can you give us, Leslie, about the typical, like Wayne was saying, he makes a paycheck, the typical worker. How can we start to be our own bankers? How can we start to invest? How can we start to protect ourselves and our money?
Good question. It's a good question. So we're going to, I guess we'll talk about how to become self-financed, how to become your own banker. It's easier for me to say that, even though I know legislatively wise, I think there are states. I'm in Massachusetts right now, and I know that there are regulations coming on down the pipeline saying, please stop using the word become your own banker. But that's the name of the book. That's the book that Nelson Nash wrote, or Bank on Yourself. That's the book that Pamela Yellen wrote on the same subject. So I'll try my best not to say that, say self-financing. And so once again, it comes down to reducing your cost of borrowing and making your payments as tax efficient as possible. We're going to talk about reducing your cost of borrowing and what that exactly means, and doing it with the safest financial vehicle in the last 1,400 years. So I mentioned before last week, this is a financial vehicle that's lasted 1,400 years. In fact, if you go on to you're recording this, so for anyone who's listened to some playback, go look up Forbes online. the great Wealth magazine, and go look up the article, A Financial Bunker for Scary Times. It's written by a guy by the name of John Gerard. And he wrote this article where he says, let me see if I can find it. I actually have it with me here. Just give me 1 second. All right, I can't find it. I'll just tell you what it is. He says, suppose there's a financial instrument that spanned back 1,400 years that survived every single financial crash out there, that protected your wealth. It was tax-free. It had contractual guarantees. It was creditor-protected, divorce-proof, provided a benefit for your loved ones when they pass away. Let me think here. Here are some famous people that have used this, current and past. Walt Disney built Disneyland using this. Ray Kroc started his McDonald's franchise using this. Foster Homes, J.C. Penney. So Senator John McCain, when he ran against Barack Obama in 2008, he started his whole presidential campaign using this particular vehicle. The current Vice President of the United States, Joe Biden, if you were to look at his financial statements, and he has made those public, not only is he using this, he is the prime example of how to use this. He uses his financial vehicle. He is his own self-financier. He pays himself back, and those are the things that... But
yet they're not teaching the American people how to do this.
No. And here's your thing, too.
And could you repeat those companies who did it again? Because those are huge.
The companies?
Yeah.
So Walt Disney built Disneyland using this. Mm-hmm. Ray Kroc built McDonald's using this. I'll give you another one. In my area of town in the Pacific Northwest, Jimmy Patterson, billionaire Jimmy Patterson, started his entire empire using this as well. Let me see. Doris Christopher, the Peppered Chef, Foster Homes. Let me see here. John McCain uses this system. He did this. He used his financial vehicle to start financing his presidential campaign, and Joe Biden does this.
Leslie, we have less than a minute, and the time always goes by so quick. I want you to get your information out there for your book, your ebook, if it's available to download. And I also would like to offer you to come on to our show, to my show, for 5 minutes and give us a money minute. If you could, as often as you could, like a pop in for that money minute, because I know I'm going to be emailing you with a lot more questions on so much to go over.
Okay.
But let's go ahead and get your information out there.
You can find me online at www.moneyuncensored.com. It is a free website. You can come on there. It's all about financial honesty and nothing but financial honesty. And that's where you can learn how to become your own banker. The financial product I'm talking about, by the way, is a mutual whole life insurance policy. You can become your own banker or self-financier because even though your money is growing, you can borrow that money out to actually finance your entire lifestyle. And I could tell you Pamela Yellen has offered a challenge to Dave Ramsey and Susie Armand saying that her system is better than their system, and she's also offered $100,000 to prove that her system's worse, better.
Yeah, and you hear that, friends, and we're out of time. And Leslie, thank you. I will be talking to you soon. We're going to have you get back on. Listeners, thank you for listening in. This is the Laureen Trent Show. We're having to sign off. WMEL 1300. Have a great day. Thank you, Leslie.
Thank you. And Laureen, it's been great working with you and Leslie.
Thank you.
We're going to work our way right up here to 2 o'clock. NBC News is next. And Laureen's been great working with you again. We got to do this again sometime.
You too, Wayne. It was awesome. And Leslie, we have to have him back. I think we're going to do that 5-minute money minute with Leslie Michaels because he's just amazing.
We'll do that. Okay. Laureen's taking us. There you go. I wanted to mention that so bad. We got 30 seconds left.
Can we talk about JFK real quick?
We got 15 seconds.
What do you got, Wayne? Because I tell you, Wayne and
NBC News coming up in 15 seconds.
November 22nd, 1963, death of our President John F. Kennedy, shortly afternoon on November 22nd, 1963.
Yep. See you,
Larry. He was assassinated.
2 o'clock.
Bye, listeners. Hope you enjoyed the show. We'll see you next week.